What's up guys, Will from Locked On Sound here today, and today we're going to be going over some dog training videos as a part of our brand new dog training series here at Locked On Sound's YouTube. So let's jump right into it. Today we're going to be teaching your dog the very first basics of how to sit, and then in the next video probably we're going to be teaching you guys how to heel. So a couple important things to talk about here is the dog that I'm going to be using for this video today is about 8 months old, so he already knows the basic commands like sit, heel, stay. You know, he's actually already gone through a full duck season, so he knows the ins and outs of the waterfowl world so far. But we're going to be using him as an example of how to teach your young pups how to heel, how to sit, and every other command throughout the rest of this series. So let's jump right into it and get the dog out. Alright guys, so here with me today is the one and only Mozzie. Yes, that's short for mozzarella. As you guys can see, he's already sitting in a heeled position, so this is where I've taught him to heel, is at my side. He's still a little curious. Sit. A couple of the things you'll notice about him is I have him verbally trained and I have him hand trained. So for me, a flat hand out is what I use for sit. A closed fist is what I'll use for hold, which is stay, for, you know, interchangeably for me. He knows hold, but it's the same thing as stay. It's don't move, it's don't stand up, everything like that. And then there's a couple other commands we'll go through that I have him hand trained on as we go. But for now, we'll focus on the flat hand out being sit. So when you're first teaching your dog to sit, after he gets his itch, what I'm going to first start with teaching him how to do is I'm going to pull up on the back of his collar a little bit as I say sit. So Mozzie, sit. So that pulling on the back of the collar is actually going to help lower their back, because when they sit their backs, when they sit their necks back a little bit, they actually, the way their spines are, they want to sit their butts down. So that's why starting them out, for them to kind of learn what sit is, instead of pushing their butt down, it's simple to just lightly pull on their collar a little bit, not choking them obviously, but just enough so they understand that you're trying to get their butt down. As you guys can see, he's got it pretty well. Another thing you can do is, we'll start over here for you guys. When you're walking him, to be able to just stop and tell him sit, heel. So when we walk this way, what he's going to see, he's going to start smelling around, and Mozzie, sit. Pulling up on the back of that collar a little bit, it's automatically going to tell him Dad wants me to sit. So this is a great way to get them learning of when I stop and they start to tug, oh, now I got to sit down. So it's a great way to kind of help them make the connection as you're learning, for when you stop, and they sit, and they look up at you like this. He's only, 8 months old. He's still learning. He's still definitely a crazy puppy, but he's a very trustworthy, very good dog. I don't have to have him on the collar. I can tell him hold, and he's going to stay right there while I complete this video. While I walk around him, he's going to keep his butt down. His eyes are going to follow me. And then I'm going to tell him, heel. Mozzie, heel. The weird thing about him is, for some reason, when I tell him a command, he has to hear his name first half the time. Now, I messed up when he was a puppy and kind of always said his name, so I'd always be like, Mozzie, sit. Mozzie, heel. Mozzie, hold. And he learned almost a Simon Says version of the commands, where he's like, oh, unless I'm said my name, I don't have to do the command. So it's not a habit I would have liked to formed, but at this point he's already so far into it, it doesn't bother me a whole lot. I'm going to keep it the way it is. But again, I'm going to walk away and kind of show you guys what I mean by that walking, and then as soon as I stop, as soon as he feels the tug a little bit, he's going to sit. And it's great too, because then if you're in a social setting, you don't have to verbalize to your dog sit. You could just simply give him a command based on hands by putting that palm flat out, or by the tug on the collar a little bit, and he's going to know that command. So it's great for social setting dogs, and when you're hunting in the blind, you don't want to be disruptive. If you got birds coming in, you don't want to be loud. It's a great way to be quiet and keep that command going. So Mozzie, heel. Good. Now, kind of went out of frame there a little bit, didn't I? Whoops. The other thing that you're going to want to focus on is treats. So for the purpose of this video, I haven't been giving him treats. Like I said, he already kind of gets the process a little bit. This is pretty basic work for him so far, but every time you tell him a command and they do that command, you're going to want to reinforce it with that positive behavior. I do not personally use a shock collar on him. What I do have, though, is a collar that vibrates and it beeps. So I use the beep for something we'll talk about later down the road, but what I do use is the vibrate when I initially was training him. So the vibrate got his attention. So I'd vibrate it when I gave him a command, and that just kind of gets the puppy brain thinking a little bit more of, oh, I got to pay attention. But I'm not shocking them. I'm not using that negative reinforcement. It's all about, for him, I focused on the positive reinforcement, building that bond between us, so that way he understands what's going on isn't, you know, it isn't going to lead to him getting hit, him getting zapped. It's going to lead to a trustworthy bond. So when he's scared, when he is in pain, let's say he's out on a retrieve. Okay, wild situation here. Let's say he's out on a retrieve and gets bit by a snapping turtle. What are you going to want? You're going to want him to want to come back to you. You're not going to want him to think, oh no, I just got in trouble, I better run. No, you're going to want him to think, uh-oh, I better go back to dad because he's going to help me. So that's an important part of this dog training process. So thank you guys for listening, and hopefully you learned something in the sit version of this video.